That evil smile. Guys, if you don't see the devil in that man every time he speaks with his wicked tongue, I don't know what to do with you. No one has to go to a mosque. I don't have to set.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. Like, what am I missing here? Right now, I believe they are holding the debate for New York City mayor. And all they're talking about is Islam.
He had more than 10 years, and he couldn't name a single mosque at the last debate we had that he visited. And what Muslims want in this city is what every community wants and deserves. They want equality, and they want respect. And it took me to get you to even see those Muslims as part of this city. And that, frankly, is something that is shameful and is why so many New Yorkers have lost faith in this politics.
Yeah, except that is totally false. I worked with the Muslim community for many years.
Name a single mosque you went to when you were the governor. Can you name a single mosque you went to in 10 years?
Before you were ever here. They were
before I was here.
Before you were even in state government. I worked with the Muslim community. Yeah. Imams presided over State of the States. We worked in religious working groups, tolerance groups, anti-Semitic groups, etc.
All right, John.
That evil smile. Guys, if you don't see the devil in that man every time he speaks with his wicked tongue, I don't know what to do with you.
Yeah.
No one has to go to a mosque. I don't have to set.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. Like, what am I missing here?
Not one toe with my Christian self. I don't have to go there any more than, like I said, then I have to go to a seance. I don't have to. And it shouldn't matter what leadership I'm in. Maybe because you fool, it's against my religion. What is he saying?
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, why are we doing? I mean, first of all, I am not a Cuomo fan at all.
No.
But he has been part of New York City for decades, okay? And we all know New York City is a melting pot, okay? So what is he talking about here? I don't understand what the point is about going to a mosque. I really don't. But it is what it is. I mean, this is America, okay? This isn't Iran, okay? This Judeo-Christian values, now do we say, but we're all Americans, so it really does, it does not matter what religion that you practice or your faith, but it's not based off of Islam. So why would he have to go to a mosque? Am I missing something there, Michelle?
You aren't missing anything. That man is missing a lot of things. But apparently he's not missing the money, the millions of dollars that are paying him to get in, to infiltrate, and to destroy us from the inside out. I will never believe that he is in it for anything good. This is a trust fund baby. This is a baby with a degree in musical theater, which I also have. So trust me when I say that man is an actor. He is a paid actor. He is paid well, but he's also taken care of by his parents. He doesn't give one iota. He doesn't give one lick or care about the people of New York, about the business owners in New York, the people that he is going to shortly, if he gets in power, destroy. He is going to decimate them, all in the name of what he just said. Is that shame on them for not being so accepting and open and welcoming to Muslims? And what? That is not New York's job. You realize that New York City is one of the biggest cities in the world, one of the economic powerhouses, you fool. Their job is not to accommodate anybody by race or religion. Their job is to accommodate businesses and people working so that the economy keeps growing, so that people can actually take part in commerce. There is a job, and he doesn't understand what it is to be mayor of the city, which is why he's a socialist. The reality is he's a disgusting communist who's going to just, again, annihilate New York's economy. Run while you can. For all the business owners, I don't give a dang what exit tax or anything you have to leave, flee now. The only thing that talks to people like him, because he's working for other disgusting organizations, is the money.
And here he is on this next clip, same debate, talking about taxes. Take a look.
But the question is how you'll make them free.
We will fund the revenue that would have otherwise been brought in from fares. And that's something that we would do in partnership with Albany. And I've put forward two proposals. The first is to raise taxes on the top 1% of New Yorkers by 2%. That would raise $4 billion. The second is to raise the state's top corporate tax rate to match that of New Jersey, which would raise $5 billion.
But the question is how you'll make them free.
So he's going to raise taxes, folks. He's going to raise taxes.
Yeah.
It's already expensive in New York City, and he's going to make it even more expensive. And they always start off like this. Oh, it's the first 1%, the top 2%, the top 3%. Then it comes down to the top 5%, the top 10%. So it's everybody. Everybody, because guess what? The revenue, the taxes, people run out. They leave. The ones who, the rich people leave. And so when they run out of people to tax, that top 1%, they start coming down to the middle class. They did the same thing here in Maryland, folks.
Yeah, he needs to tax his mama, who's in the top percent. When you tax the people, you tax your friends. Leave the rest of the business owners and wealth creators and Americans alone. Leave them alone. You guys realize that when he talked about, and I've seen other clips with him because he's just illiterate. He is completely illiterate. I don't know that he's ever had to really pay his own bills, because we know what happened when he's getting, subsidized house, all the stuff that he's done. He doesn't understand that when he's asking a multimillionaire or $1 million corporation to give an extra 2%, guys, he's talking about they can give an extra $10 million. It's not going to hurt them. Maybe it's not going to hurt them, but it's going to hurt New Yorkers when they pack up and move, because they could save $10 million or $20 million. They can save that extra 2% if they pack up and leave, and it will be worth it for them to pack up and leave. He just doesn't understand how the free market works. But why would you when you're a communist?
Exactly.
Because he believes he can force you to keep working in his city. Well, guess what? It's still the United States of America, you fool, you socialist. And we should stop saying democratic socialist. There's no such thing. You're a Democrat, you're a Republican, you're a socialist. This man is a socialist, self-proclaimed socialist, but he's actually a communist. And he's actually just plain evil. But he doesn't understand how our economy works. He doesn't understand that all his freebies are going to come at the backs of workers in the middle class, not the wealthy. And half the stuff he's saying, guys, let's just be honest, as the mayor, you actually cannot accomplish. He was better off staying where he was as a statesman. Stay in state legislator, be a delegate, be a state senator. You can do more there than you can as the mayor, but he's going to find out. Hopefully not. But if he gets the seat, we're all going to find out. Sometimes you need a Biden to get Trump. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. This is what New York City voters residents are voting for. Many of them are moving. They been talking about this mass exodus out of New York City, so much so that real estate in surrounding areas like Westchester, in areas has gone. People are paying over 700% of the asking price for property, for homes. I mean, whatever they have left is almost gone, but people are paying way over asking just to get out of New York City. Now, of course, we know these are people with affluence, but this is what they're doing. So again, we're talking about how these people that he's talking about he's going to tax are leaving. And so if he's going to have to pay for all these social plans somehow, he's going to start taxing middle class. That's just common sense. Okay. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. How we've come so far. And again, that comes down to financial illiteracy and financial literacy, things we're not teaching in school.
Right.
Clearly, he missed that lesson. But again, trust fund babies, sometimes they miss it. It depends on the parents. Obviously, Donald Trump's children got it. He taught them what business was and what it is. And so good on him. Again, President Trump has threatened to withhold federal funding. Why? Because he understands that if this man gets elected, he is going to squander our tax spend. I'm talking about United States, everybody here, federal taxpayer dollars. And President Trump is saying, no way. We are not going to hand over a bunch of money for you to throw away on communist programs. That's not our Constitution. That is not how this works. And somehow people are voting it in because they say his enthusiasm. Well, you know what? That man is nothing but a seducing spirit.
Yeah. And he's a communist Muslim. Here, he says it right here. This is the last clip. Take a look.
And what I'm looking to do as the first Muslim mayor of this city is to ensure that we bring every New Yorker together. Jewish New Yorkers, Muslim New Yorkers, every single person use. And what I'm looking to do as the first Muslim mayor of this city is to ensure that we bring every New Yorker together. Jewish New Yorkers, Muslim New Yorkers, every single person use.
Okay, so
yeah, convenient to say Jewish first when you won't condemn Hamas.
He actually did. I think he did tonight in this debate for the first time. I believe he did say that he wants Hamas to lay down their arms. Here's that clip here. You guys tell me if you believe him. Let me see here.
Voters tuning in tonight, Barry. So for the voters tuning in tonight, Mr. Mamdani, what do you believe about Hamas and how lasting peace will be achieved? We know it's a complicated matter, but we'd like you to keep your answer to a minute if you could.
Of course, I believe that they should lay down their arms. I'm proud to be one of the first elected officials in the state who called for a ceasefire. And calling for a ceasefire means ceasing fire. That means all parties have to cease fire and put down their weapons. And the reason that we call for that is not only for the end of the genocide, but also an unimpeded access of humanitarian aid. I, like many New Yorkers, am hopeful that this ceasefire will hold. I'm hopeful that it is durable. I'm hopeful that it is just. And for it to be just, we also have to ensure that it addresses the conditions that preceded this. Conditions like occupation, like the siege, and apartheid. And that is what I'm hopeful for.
Yeah. What a disgusting...
If I may?
What preceded this was October 7th.
No, so there he goes, blaming Israel, blaming Israelis for October 7th. He has a sick man, and that's everyone should lay down his arms. What genocide? Do you realize he is saying the Israeli genocide? He goes back to coming after Israel, and the 6th smile that he has is that he is trying to lay it and put a dig in on Benjamin Netanyahu and the nation of Israel, and he's kind of nodding and smiling to his Muslim Brotherhood funders and Hamas funders and Middle Eastern supporters and radical Islamists who are putting money towards him, which he says he's giving back, by the way. He got, foreign money, and he says he's giving it back. Great. I'm glad you're giving it back. But you see that? Do you see how slick he was?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a slick one. He's a slick one, Mr. Grinch.
He's just, guys, we see it because we're outside of it, but let's just be honest. And when you're in New York City, and if you guys have gone to any of these cities, it could be LA, you live in this bubble and it's unrealistic and it doesn't have any care for anywhere outside of itself. It's its own little incubated area. And it's at this point, they're cesspools, right? It's the same, just gross, same leadership over and over. That's what it is. And so they don't realize that what they elect, and I said what I said, not who I said what. If they elect this guy, this thing right here, because it is just evil not even in the making, it is evil incarnate. And I say that because of what he has said, because of his rhetoric, not just him as a person, it's his rhetoric. And what he brings and who he sides with, to me, is evil. But we know we know what it is. We know he comes against Israel because he doesn't believe in the Christ that we follow.
No,
this is not a Christian.
Even if he doesn't believe in Christ, you can say you can at least believe in the Constitution and capitalism and what made this nation great. But he doesn't believe in any of that. And he also, now he's saying, he believes Hamas should put down their weapons and, all this type of stuff, but he's changing his tune. He wasn't saying any of these things in the past.
Yesterday.
Here he is. This is the last clip. Here he is, what he said in the past. Let me see here. All right.
So like some of you, my journey in organizing and my journey in politics began with Palestine.
There we go. What's that mean?
It was and continues to be something that I deeply care about.
Palestine isn't even a real place, folks. Okay? This is how La La Land this person is living in.
Yeah. I came to this country when I was 7 years old.
Unfortunately.
And as soon as I got to any kind of level of political consciousness, the contradiction around Palestine struck me.
There we go.
That we claimed to hold these universal ideals, and then when it came to applying them to Palestinians, we drew a line in the sand. We said we cared about freedom, cared about justice. We cared about safety. We
care about law. We care about, yes, justice and law. This place isn't even a real place, okay?
About peace. And yet we did not dare to apply those things to Palestine. And so when I got to college, I co-founded my school's first Students for Justice in Palestine.
There we go.
And that began my organizing journey and my understanding of how power works and how you can actually get people from consciousness to action.
My question is this. If this is what I never understand about these so-called activists for Palestine and for all these other places. If you came here and started organizing and you started all this stuff, why don't you go there and do it?
Yeah.
Why are you here? We don't need you. You need to go there and do all this organizing and stuff, right?
Bye-bye. And this is a man
here. If you want to change somewhere, change it over there.
If that's a big deal, I mean, he came from Africa. So let's just be honest, right? What, Uganda? He doesn't, again, that's beyond hypocritical, and he doesn't give a lick about it. There's so many causes. Why doesn't he say anything about the real genocide, since he wants to do jabs about the real genocide happening by Muslim and Islamic extremists in Nigeria?
Yeah.
He wants to, Nigerians have been there. Actual name Nigerians, not Palestinians, not a hodgepodge of people that somehow were told that they were Palestinians, and now we want to come up with this nation that supposedly exists called Palestine. Guys, go back to the history. We don't have time tonight. Actual Nigerians are being slaughtered by actual Islamic extremists, Christian. He doesn't care about those things. So this is just a joke of what motivated him to do anything. Nothing motivated that man except for a popular vote and his ties to dark money and to another far more sinister agenda.
Yeah, absolutely. But what happens is, these people like him, they come here to the United States and they take advantage of our laws and our freedom. And they use it for our demise, really. These activists, they come to the U.S. and advocate for movements that oppose those same freedoms, okay? The freedom of free speech, women's rights, democracy. And they start to push a contradiction. And that's pretty much, that's what the Communist Manifesto is all about, the communist goals. They come here to infiltrate, to use our freedom-loving laws and hearts and from Americans, and they try to implement their what they came from in their country to eventually ruin it.
And KJ, we've shown the clips. We've done podcasts on this before where Muslims and Islamists have said, and Hamas leaders themselves have said, we will destroy them with a long game and we will use their laws against us. And they said, we can come to the United States because we can say anything we want and they cannot shut us up. But look at the nations that have fallen right now. They have all been nations that follow some type of democratic constitution, some form of democracy that allowed free speech, past tense, and because they have allowed people like him to take leadership positions, like in the UK, like in England, Great Britain, right now, they have been able to roll back free speech. They've been able to attack free speech. So the decline is from the inside by using our own laws. You're absolutely on point. And those nations have fallen. And right now, some of them are trying to push back. Italy is trying to push back. Sweden, some of these nations are pushing back. But I wonder if it's too little too late, because like I said, the Mamdanis of the world are a plague of locusts.
Yeah, because guess what? They come to these countries like a parasite almost, because they come to these countries and instead of assimilating and loving our country and our laws, they're trying to bring whatever parasitic mess from their places here. So they don't want to, they want to replace and undermine our country. And so this is what we can't have. And this is exactly what he's saying in this clip. Here, we'll continue.
I had participated in electoral campaigns of young Muslim progressives who were running for office. And eventually I heard of a Palestinian Lutheran minister.
What?
which is a set of words that makes a racist's mind explode.
No, I'm not racist in my mind.
But a Palestinian Lutheran minister by the name of Khadr El-Yatim was running for city council in Bay Ridge. And I remember reading that article, and I decided that this had to become my life. I had to do everything I could to get on this campaign.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So another wolf in sheep's clothing.
He just said Muslim progressive.
Right. Yeah.
He didn't say conservative progressive. He didn't say leftist progressive. A Muslim progressive.
Lutheran.
This is what he just said. That's why.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, he's saying I saw these Muslim progressives entering into the field, like running for offices. That's why I wrote it down. I said, did he just say a Muslim progressive? That is new for me. I've heard a lot of things, but he just said the part I didn't know out loud. So he's not just a communist or a socialist, democratic socialist. He just said he's inspired by Muslim progressives that are here to take office. And we're seeing this happen all over the United States right now as we speak.
Yeah, you're right.
That is a religious progressive. I am not a Christian progressive trying to take office. I am a Christian conservative as my work, and I'm looking to seek an American office.
Right.
To uphold my Constitution.
Yeah. As Thomas Jefferson, as George Washington, all of them were had some type of biblical foundation. So you're not unlike any other person. Our founders, they were the same track as you. But we have a super chatter here. Crystal P says Mamdani wants buses for free when the MTA has a $1 billion deficit already. Raising prices, increase congestion prices, fund legal fees for migrants. Yeah, the list goes on, folks. Well, like someone said in the chat earlier, maybe this will turn out to be a situation where it gets so bad that they actually, elect someone like President Trump. Because remember, under Biden, it got so bad. People were like, they finally opened their eyes. They finally were able to see that, Trump would be the better option. And we got Trump. So maybe this is what will happen here in New York City. I don't know. I'm just so happy that we have Trump for 3 more years in office. That's what I'm happy about. So while he's in New York City, Mamdani doing all types of foolishness, at least we have a president at the helm, and prayerfully we have a Republican Congress that can thwart or maybe somehow correct some of the things that he is going to do to New York City. I don't know, but